Hello and welcome to Who Dares Rolls. I am your host Mike B. Here we are again, eventually. Sorry it's a bit delayed. Children, life, stuff goes on. What are you going to do? Anyway, we're here now and I've got some stuff coming. So it'll be fine. It all works out in the end. Trust me, just stick with it. Right, it's August. It's early August. That's as much as I'm going to chance my leg on that one because I don't really know. Actually, I don't have a fucking clue what day of the week it is, really. Yes, let's cover some stuff. Let's dive straight into some stuff I've played. Yes, played games. Off the gate quickly, I've been digging into Vienna Connection from Portal Games. It's sort of the follow-up to Detective, set in the Cold War. Very cool. Enjoying a lot of that. Very. That's why I say I've got a review coming of that soon. But yeah, liking that. Liking what that's doing. So we played Tinner's Trail on the Friday of last, and if you've been following from the other week, what essentially happened was we played Tinner's Trail, and Ben got very badly wrong, and so it was a bit of a void game. We finished it off, but whatever. So anyway, finally got down, we played it, we captured the rule that we did wrong. We also threw in one of the 2 expansions that came with the Kickstarter, which was the poison one, arsenic expansion, which kind of had this little subboard that you could manufacture arsenic during the main game, but it was kind of detrimental to you because it took actions off of you. But the selling of arsenic, and the only way you could do it was once you'd started mining it or whatever. Early doors, getting in early gives you a lot of cash, which, as it turned out, was very incremental and instrumental even in my strategy to win the game, because I hit that hard and fast straight off the gate, stashed in the money, was able to make the best amount of value out of that, and henceforth spend it for the victory points out of the game functions to get the best value off that. And that kind of gave me a really good boost. Kind of factored into my brain by kind of in my Sherlocky matrixy way of going was that was really quick path to victory. Bang, 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 hit that. Lose a couple of work actions, but you're never going to get that high anyway, and rinse, repeat. And it worked very well. If you know the game and play the game, you'll know what all that gibberish was about. If you haven't and don't, then you'll be sat there going, what? Anyway, Tinner's Trail is set in Cornwall. You are tin miners and copper miners. It's Alicat Games republished it. It's a Martin Wallace design. On the whole, it looks great. Really nice production design. Everything's kind of funky cool. Looks good. Plays very well. It's a nice Martin Wallace design. 2 issues I'll come down with it is, number one, the board size seems smaller than it really needs to be. If it's a bit bigger, you get a lot of cubes on the board later on, and it can get real messy. So it's a shame that it's small. That's one critique, I would say. I don't think there's anything else. We were getting rough on the rulebook last week, but I think it's more on Ben than on the rulebook, really, I think, with my feeling on it. I haven't played the final expansion. I presume at some point we might do that. As I stand at the moment with Tinner's Trail, is quick bullet review on that, is it's fine. It's a perfectly fine game. It's not a bad Martin Wallace game. If you have played any of that sort of Euro-ish type stuff, Nussford comes to mind, any of those sort of things, those sort of like mid-weight Euros, it is doing just more of that. If you don't have any of them and you like the theme, then it's not a terrible game. It's a good game. You'll enjoy it and you'll get lots of fun out of it, I'm sure. If you own a dozen of them already, this is doing nothing particularly new that they don't all do in some capacity or another. So it's a fine, cracking release by Alicat. Looks gorgeous and all that. Plays very well. It's a nice game. Good game. Cracking game. I enjoy it. But however, I have no place for my collection for it. I'll play it if someone puts it in front of me. I wouldn't go out and buy it because I've got some Euros that do similar things. So there you go. That's that anyway. So it was all right. It was good. Fire Tower. I think it was Fire Tower we played from Ben, where I won Tinner's Trail, by the way. Just let's get that in there. Won it. A resounding victory of 200 odd points or something. Fucking banged the granny out of it. Anyway, Fire Tower is another one of Ben's he brought along, and for note, I also beat the shit out of everyone on this and won this as well. You play on a 5-player game which we played. There's a fifth player doing something else, but ignore that for the minute. You're in a fire tower, and the four corners of the board is your fire tower as you're protecting. There's a fire starts in the middle of the board. It all looks kind of cool component-wise. And then there's a deck of cards you get dealt with somebody in your hand, and you play these cards out, which will control the direction of where the fire blows or goes. And your idea is you're trying to push it onto your opponent's towers and burn them down. And then they're out the game, and then there's some cards play out that they can do stuff later on. So yeah, we played that, and aesthetically it looked gorgeous. I think it was a Kickstarter. It was a fun game. I enjoyed it. I think my fun quota was probably higher than everyone else's, because I pretty much was untouched virtually 90% of the game, whilst I eradicated everyone else around the board. I think the fun factor for the people who are eliminated is lessened because there isn't really much to do. There is a couple of cards that come out that we pop back in the deck a couple of times, because otherwise they would have had one action and that would have been it. That may be a rule error. We might have to check that. But they get this kind of one action and they can do some stuff, and it's nifty stuff and it's cool. But they're pretty much, as a player elimination, out of the game for the rest of it. And yeah, I think for them it's probably less fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it was actually aesthetically really cool. It looked cool. It worked thematically well. It was a good, fun, light game. Tore along at a fair rate of knots. However, I would say anyone not a fan of player elimination, it does mean you're sat on the sidelines potentially for 10 minutes or so while the game plays itself out, or maybe a bit longer even. But yeah, good game, enjoyable game. Just maybe either A, we've got something wrong there, I don't think we did, or that, yeah, be aware you're going to get kicked out. Finally, on Sunday, because Jamie and Tony were going off to some COVID convention music festival piece of shit in fucking Portsmouth of all places. What? Ugh. Anyway, they went and did that. So me and Robbie were left on our own on Sunday. So we were not going to be downhearted. We played a game and we had a crack on at Star Wars Rebellion, which, it comes to light, I have not played for a very long fucking time. So much so that our game went on for a good 3 or 4 hours, and I think probably a couple of that was just playing catch up on the rules and remembering that I had the expansion in and how to sort that out, which once I got it was fine. If you've not played it, Star Wars Rebellion is it's a cracking game. It's basically Star Wars in a box. You play out mostly the original trilogy storyline. One person's Rebels, one person's the Imperials. The Rebels got a hidden base that they're trying to keep hidden and run the clock down essentially to beat the Empire that way. Whilst the Empire has got this massive fleet and stuff, they're trying to find the Rebel base. If they can find it and eradicate them, they win the game. That's it. But there's all lots of thematic underpinnings and lots of Star Warsy vibes. You can kind of... my original judgment on the game, my only issue really whilst it was sandbox-y, it was still limited in its sandbox nature, that you couldn't make Chewbacca a Jedi, for instance, or really alter the mythos entirely of Star Wars. It was still kind of stuck to a certain linear of those original trilogy movies. Luke is always going to become the Jedi in some capacity, just maybe not on Dagobah. And the expansion throws in some really nice stuff. We played it, really good fun. I mean, both me and Robbie are Star Wars fans. I was the Empire, he was the Rebels. As I say, a shaky start. He made a tactical error, really. There was really good fucking shit going on. There was a whole fucking thing. Darth Vader and Palpatine captured Mon Mothma on Naboo. Then there's a fucking daring rescue, and she was rescued, and then fucking Obi-Wan turned up and saved the fucking day. Then Vader and fucking Obi-Wan had a fucking duel later on, Kashyyyk or somewhere, and Obi-Wan bought the farm. Fucking lovely, sort of that real thematic Star Wars story playing out. And there was a big fleet, and the Death Star was built, and it was floating across the galaxy. Shit was getting real. We called the game, I think, about midnight-ish, because we were going to have a good couple of more hours to play. However, looking where we were and where his Rebel base was, which was very near where the Death Star was, I think inevitably in the next 2 or 3 turns, shit would have got very real for the Rebel Alliance, and they would have been fucking crushed. But yeah, Star Wars Rebellion. Absolutely fucking cracking game. Really enjoyed, even though I wasn't complete full play of it, actually getting it back out again and playing it 2-player, I've really enjoyed it. It's really good. If you're a massive Star Wars nut, there's a lot to get out of that. And I need to play it more. I just, maybe nippers, maybe, I don't know, just don't get to play 2-player games very often. I often lament it, and it is a thing that, but yeah, I really enjoyed that. And then the expansion did add just a nice veneer and polish some shit up. I'm doing this with my hands. Let's do some news. Let's do that. News, new stuff quickly. Actually, I'll dash this out very quickly. If I get this video out in time, you might just catch it. Bez, the wonderful, marvellous, gorgeous Bez, has a Kickstarter on at the moment. I think it ends today. So this is, if I do this in time, for his weird, whimsical creatures. It's done very well. I think it's got about 300 or 400 backers on it already. Fantastic stuff. Little, cool, small card game. Very Bez of you making weird noises with all the weird monsters. You pop monsters down and you make noises. People try and guess which monster you're making noises about. Whimsical and joyful, with all of Bez's wonderful art on it. Fantastic. She's a beauty. Go and have a look at it. Instant back. Just go and do it. It's cheap. I think it's about £5. Just fucking go and sort it out. If I was in time. Maybe you can lay it back. Other news. Well, yet, so IDW Games has, by all intents and purposes, has gone. They were a subdivision of IDW Comics. I think they were formed in about 2013. I did write some notes down here, which is now a very small text, and my glasses all the way. I can't even read my own handwriting. But yeah, it basically follows. There was a bunch of cancellations. Metal Gear Solid was a game that was lined up by Emerson Machuzzi, who did the Century Road games and Spectre Ops. It sounded very cool, right up his alley. I mean, Spectre Ops was kind of Metal Gear Solid without the license. That seems like a beautiful combination. Sadly, I remember lamenting his post when he said it had been cancelled, and he was hoping to find someone else to pick up the design, which maybe that would be a thing. If you've got sense, get the license and pick it up. There was some other stuff. There was a Bomberman game. They were making a Bomberman ball game. I mean, fuck me, that sounds amazing. So they all cancelled all this shit. To be personally honest with you, IDW, I scanned around the other day, and I don't think I own an IDW game. And I think my big issue was they did Machikuro and stuff. They did some fairly good stuff. They did the Ghostbusters games, which didn't look very good. They were on Kickstarter. A bunch of stuff. So they've done some stuff, but a lot of the licensed stuff they pushed out. Loads of licensed stuff, and it was all that subpar shit licensed games, the stuff that we expected 10 years ago. I don't think they ever put anything out licensed that was decent. It's all shit. Which is probably why I don't own any of their stuff. And the quality of the stuff always looked a bit cheap, anyway, long story short, they look like they're done, they're gone. So there's I mean, that's probably in a little while coming. I think they had a few Kickstarters running, so I'm presuming they're fulfilling them and then they're battening the hatches, and that's that. Is this a sign of the doom to come? I don't know. We don't know. There's lots of doom mongering about. We know that shipping is horrendous at the moment, and that probably come Christmas generally. I think globally and more, and good old little England, we're going to be suffering for what's going to be on the shelves, and I don't think that's just ball games, to be honest with you. I think we may well be fighting over a potato come Christmas. Yay, Brexit, we got it done. Fuck my life. So there we go. That's all happening. Blades in the Dark is getting a movie made of it. It's an RPG. This kind of brings a smile to my face and depresses me at the same time. Blades in the Dark, okay, which is a rogue, Noirish, ninja-y sort of Assassin's Creed type style of game of you scuttling around in the dark doing nefarious things, a bit like Thief, the video game. Just before that was announced, there was a project called Project Dark. It was announced by Will Hindmarsh. I think it's Will Hindmarsh, something very respected RPG writer and raconteur and all that sort of stuff. Puts out this thing of very thiefish, Noirish Blades in the Darky type file thing before Blades in the Dark. So it funds, did about 70k on it. I think Blades in the Dark comes up subsequently, not long after it funds. And so here we sit, that Blades in the Dark, and not only did it fund its Kickstarter, is getting a TV show made about it, based in that universe. It's a Project Dark, 8 years now, this fucker being funded for 70k, still hasn't come out. We still haven't got it. I mean, honestly, Will, are you fucking alive still, mate? They've made a TV show out of the other fucking RPG. You could have been in there. You could have Project Dark. You could have been a Project Dark TV show. Fucking totally fucked the pooch on that, didn't you, buddy? So yeah, there we go. Kickstarters. That's one I haven't yet fulfilled. It looks unlikely that it will. Although I can watch a TV show based on a RPG very similar to it and go, oh, if only. Moving on swiftly. Patreon. As we're talking about that, sort of. I'm just going to put out a welcome to our new patron. We have a new patron. Gareth has joined us. So, hello. Wait, that's a patron. How exciting. I put the challenge down last video that pay me rather than paying for a stupid shit thing, and Gareth put his money where his mouth is. And he did that. So I'm probably duty bound to send him a turd in the box or something. I think that's what we agreed in the last video. There you go, Gareth. Wait for that. While we're on here, let's say hello to the other patrons. Duncan is there. Tim. Hello, Tim. How are we? Tyne. And, of course, who could forget young Philip. Young Philip the sheep. Bless his cotton socks. We do. Might get him on here. Maybe we should get Phil on it. Phil the sheep. He seems to have emigrated over to Polyhedron Collider territory. They were saying that they taking him on. No, he's my original fucking follower, listener. Thank you very much. He's my fanboy. Fucking give him back, you northern monkeys. Taking my fucking shit off me, fucking motherfuckers. Anyway, moving on from that. Hello, anyway, Patreon people, and anyone who wishes to Patreon. See, this is the sort of interaction you could expect as a patron. I will be here. I'll talk to you. Personalised videos and shit. All sorts of stuff. Anyway, moving on. Been doing some car booting. Lovely. Most recent look at this beauty that I acquired at the most recent car boot was the Challenge Annika board game. What a fine game that is, too. It sounds quite entertaining. Up to you and some of your friends, I believe, can be. You can be in Challenge Annika, and if you followed that, very British, Annika Rice would run around. I think she had a helicopter in that one. Can't remember if that was that one. But she would go around and erect a scout hut and stuff and get celebrities involved and things. They'd all feel a sense of worth and well-being. This is all of that in this game. You run around a stupid board. You've got to do challenges. There's a yellow pages that you can ring up in the game by rolling some random dice. And you are, in fact, doing things like Annika's challenge, which is to find an old double-decker bus, convert it to a mobile play bus for local children. Lovely. There's all sorts of stuff. There is building a scout hut, I think. Just got in 48 hours, you've got to organise a trip to London for 80 children. Oh my goodness me! So Challenge Annika. I mean, it's very quaint, very British, very Challenge Annika. It sounds actually like they nailed that entirely. It sounds very good. Best £2 ever spent, I feel. At the same time I bought was the Hotspur book for boys, 1981. Lovely. Such delights as Bernard Briggs, the baseball star. Some definitely dodgy things to fight the Mohawks. There's some very dodgy, probably racially indelicate moments in here. Lots of fun. And this feels like something out of the 1940s. Okay, this is 1981 this come out. And it's like all boy stuff. Oh, there's some police. There's something straight out of his. The Floating Man. This guy in the 19th century, Paul Bayton, the Floating Man, travelled the world demonstrating the Merriman buoyancy suit. In this, a person could float indefinitely and move anywhere at will. Few people bought the suits, but Paul gave demonstrations and took collections. One day in Durban. So he basically floats from a vegetable smoking a cigar. In his buoyancy suit, just floats like the littlest hobo across the ocean and then turns up, trying to promote a suit that no one else wants. You aimlessly float the world in. Just random, just something. What that in 1881? I was reading 2008 just read. What the fuck was this going on here? However, Charlie, I'm sure you'll lap this up. I might have to send you it. It's truly a thing. Tom Bass, bush pilot. Ah, yes, Tom. With his faithful raccoon. Ah, yes. Astounding. Best £1 I've ever spent. So there's that. So car boots have been very good. I picked up the Sopranos box there as well on DVD. Fantastic. So there's those things. Picked up this, Superman 78. Poor Dick Donner passed sadly away the last month or so, as we covered, I think, a little while ago. But he directed the original Superman movie, which still stands as by far just fucking brilliant. It's really good. No, I never really fully appreciated it as a child, but as I progressed in years, every time I watch it, I appreciate it 100 million times more than I did the last fucking time I watched it. Really good movie, really well shot. Clark Kent, I mean, bloody Christopher Reeve has nailed it. It's brilliant. Anyway, this is a comic sequelization of sequel. So forget Superman 2 and all that. This kind of follows on from the original movie, set in that universe, with that same sort of feel with the art evoking the characters and all there, doing the Superman thing. and it's kind of cool. I haven't read it yet, actually. I need to read it. I was also very interested in DC were doing Batman 88 or 89, I think it was, 89 I think it is, which follows on from the Burr movie. But sadly, I was late off the fucking stops getting to that, and it's sold out in its comic format, which is a shame because it'd be nice to have. But I might pick up the graphic novels coming out, I think, next month. So yeah, there's all that going on. We watched The Quiet Place 2, which was alright. It just kind of felt like Quiet Place 1 did everything kind of cool and it was fun, and this kind of gone, oh, well, now what do we do? We've kind of shown what the monsters do. Let's do some stuff. It's tension and well shot. It's entertaining. Just you kind of feel like, oh, it kind of run out of steam. Like, it was great setup, but what do we do next? It's fun, as I say. It was entertaining. And stuff. Things. Anyway, that's it. That's me. This is this week. I've got a bunch of Charlie's videos to edit down and get out as well. This will be coming out. I need to do reviews. I'm going to do a review of Vienna Connection pretty soon. Godfather I filmed. I need to finish that and do that stuff and nonsense. I've got Challenge Annika to play as well at some point, of course. Have a great week. Enjoy yourselves. The sun is fucked off. We're now heading towards the winter. It's plenty of time to stay indoors and play games. Well, sounds very reasonable, I feel. Yes, jolly good. All right, well, thank you. Hello again to all the new patrons, Patreon. Have a great week. I'll catch up with you soon. This has been Who Dares Wells. I've been Mike B. This is all I have to say on the matter.